Okay, so the park changed ownership from Miami-Dade County to the city of Miami in 1979. Shortly thereafter, 1982, the park was shut down to the public, the city citing it as a lack of maintenance. At the time, the park did not have a lot of visitors. After the integration of the United States in the 1960s, I believe in Miami, it was really in 1968, um, the the visitation of the park went down because since this was for a while, this was one of the few parks in Miami-Dade County where you could actually, for communities of color, could actually go to the beach. You didn't have to go all the way from Homestead, which is 2 hours down south, just to come here anymore. So once integration happened, you can go to the beach 20 minutes away. So over time, visitation went down and down and down. When you have less visitation, you get less of a budget, and then these kind of things, unfortunately, end up into where there was a lack of maintenance. The city of Miami shut it down in 1982, and for that time frame, this basically was an abandoned site. It was actually used for the odd occasional event as well as police training exercises. And in 1995, there was a proposal to develop this into a community eco campground that was brought to the city of Miami. The black community was really not having any of this, and they decided to come together and create a plan to make this place a park to the public again. First, a task force was created, the Virginia Key Beach Task Force. A lot of the members of that task force ended up becoming part of the trust board. This task force was kind of leading the charge. This task force was comprised of notable folks like Dinzulu Jean Tinney, Richard Townsend, as well as, of course, former Commissioner M. Athley Range. M. Athley Range was the first black commissioner for the city of Miami. She is a champion civil rights activist in this city. She's one of the most well-known names. She even has a park named after her. And of course, the famous Range Funeral Homes in Liberty City was her business. M. Athley Range, she was somebody, I wish I knew her personally, and I'm sure Chair Patrick Range will have a lot more to talk about this, but she was somebody where if there was some injustice going on, no matter what, she was part of it. She would make sure that she was involved, and she would make sure that her community was represented properly. It would come to the point where if you were at a commission meeting and M. Athley Range was sitting in the audience, all the commissioners would give her respect, stand up, listen to no matter what she said. Her, of course, Dr. Enid Pinkney was another one who was also part of this task force. But again, this task force was only supposed to last 6 months. So they needed a more permanent group of civilians to do this. And the Virginia Key Beach Park Trust was created. In 1999-2000, they marched on City Hall and demanded that this place be reopened to the public. The city did unanimously agree, based on the plans where the city would own the park, but the trust would really take care of the maintenance, the management, and also get the Civil Rights and Environmental Museum created. And there was nobody better than to name the founding chair of the Virginia Key Beach Park Trust was M. Athley Range. She was, from what I've read and from what I've heard, of course, she was an absolutely incredible woman who had a love of trains. She actually worked. She was appointed by Jimmy Carter to be on the Amtrak Board of Governors for the Southeast. So definitely for her, bringing the mini train back to the park was something that was very special. Of course, bringing back the carousel as well. Actually, for a time, the train that we brought back, which was an authentic 1953 train, sat in that carousel before the carousel was made, and there's actually a great picture of M. Athley Range sitting in one of the cars. So before this project was finished, of course, M. Athley Range passed, but the project, it was February, I believe, 22nd of 2008. After the city agreed 8 years later, the trust was able to get this park reopened to the public. And this park is an 82.5 acre park. And all we really want to do is tell our story, because there's a story that absolutely needs to be told, and really explain what we're about. And what we're about is activism. We have civic activism through volunteers. We've had a tremendous amount of environmental activism. We've had over 400,000 volunteer hours put into this park, whether it's planting, shoreline cleanups, exotic removal, so on and so forth. We've had I believe in the last 10-15 years, we've had over 10,000 volunteers. So considering all of that, this really is the People's Park. 1945, it was the people that came together and created this beach. In the 1990s and 2000s, it was the people that came and brought this beach back. Since the early 2000s, it's been the people that have taken time out of their weekend and their weekday to come out and volunteer and help take care of this park. And as of now, and what is happening these days, it is the people that are keeping the vision of this board and this trust alive. This park does not belong to the city of Miami. It does officially, of course, I can't say that, of course, it is a city of Miami park. But in reality, and what I personally believe, is this park is yours. This park belongs to the public, and this park belongs to the people, and it belongs to you. So I always encourage everybody to come out, enjoy the park, really relish in it, because it belongs to you. Whether you're here for a tour, whether you're here for a special event, whether you're here celebrating your child's 3rd birthday party, or whether you're just here to ride the carousel or just hang out at the beach, always remember that this is your park.